Wow, this is so iconic to be here, and I'm so emotional, and my tear ducts are attached to my bladder, so I have to hold back just a little bit so I can say a few words. But these people are icons and have meant so much to this city. And I know that Wallace and Ladmo right now are up in heaven looking down. And Pat, you're still here because God's not ready for you yet, honey. Got to get some things organized before you can go. But anyway, the family, the Ladmo's family were so special, and of course he was. We went to Mexico together one time, and my husband and several of us and Ladmo, and we said, now Ladmo, nobody knows you in Mexico. You can be yourself. You can go out, no problems. So Ladmo is jogging down the beach, and we look up, and there are 15 kids from Phoenix yelling, Ladmo, Ladmo, going down the beach. It was incredible. And when I looked at these videos, I got tickled because Wallace and Ladmo and Pat were very skinny at one time when they got started. And then we had the Cooking with Rita show. And I would go into the studio, and my studio was right next to theirs, and get the food ready for the show. And the refrigerator would be completely empty. Guess who was eating my food before I could cook it for the... They all started gaining a little bit of weight. I don't want to say anything about that, but I know where it was coming from, out of my refrigerator that they were busting every morning, so I didn't have anything to cook. But these people have made such a difference in this world. And Ladmo was like a brother, and Pat and Wallace, they were family and friends to me, and they were a treasure to this city. The difference they have made for Phoenix is, to me, it's just iconic and historic. And we were so blessed to be entertained with these people that set an example, because humor is so therapeutic. And the more you laugh, the better you feel. So they've made us laugh for over 35 years. And I treasure our time together, and they were a gift from God. Thank you for being here today. We're so grateful.
All right, thank you, Rita, for those beautiful remarks. And then we get one more hand for Rita Davenport. Thank you so much. Now it is my honor to introduce Billy Lowry, who is representing Wallace's family members here today. Can I like to have Billy come up to the stage? Join me in welcoming him, please.
My grandpa actually did that at one of the last Wallace and Ladmo conventions. He told me, Billy, it's going to be so funny. I'm going to fall off the stage, and everyone's going to laugh. And the stage was like twice this size, and he literally just ate it. And everyone was horrified, like, oh my God. And he was like, anything for a laugh. But, growing up, he'd always have really funny one-liners. He would say things like, hey, Billy, what's one of these? It's a dead one of these. And things like, Billy, you think it's easy? And I'd go, think what's easy? Exactly. But very much like the wizard, with the wizard one-liners, he'd say things like, he'd say stuff like, I didn't go to night school for nothing. I go, what does that mean? I didn't go to night school for nothing? But, one of the biggest highlights, the biggest highlight of my life was actually getting to play my grandfather in the Wallace and Ladmo stage production, which was really fun to do. Just so neat getting to, I'd go over and, study his mannerisms I grew up knowing. And we put up history books actually on the set, some of his history books on that set. And the other highlight of my life was when I was younger. A lot of people don't know that he was a huge history buff. So he was super into toy soldiers. We had a shared collection of toy soldiers, Zach and Dennis and I and everyone, a huge toy soldier collector, and so many history books, so many. One day he came over with about 150 history books and goes, Billy, here you go. Here you go. You need to learn this. You need to learn this stuff. And I'm like 13, 14, and I go, what am I going to do with 150 history books here, you know? And he goes, you know, it's the least I can do. The most, a steak at Durant's. Another one he said all the time. So glad they got to keep Durant's going, because that's a great Arizona staple too. But yeah, this is just a big deal for everyone, for my whole family. My mom used to go. They grew up in the Willow district, and she would go to the old library on Central and McDowell, the very old one, and do their summer reading programs and all those fun things over the summer. And this is especially big for my family. My wife Christina, we come here all the time up to the 5th floor here. We come up here twice a month, and usually come up to this 5th floor because there's so many great, movies and lots of music, books, and but yeah, this is just such a big deal, especially for my family and my wife, because we come here all the time. And my grandpa would always say, "It's going to be big," and this is big in the form of a very small library card. But yeah, this is what he would say. This is the big time. So this is such an honor. Thank you all so much for coming. This is just so neat that so many people still came out this many years later. Thank you all for having me up here to talk to you. And Pat.